Okay, Hilchos Brachos Perek Test. Dr. Yamba. All right. If I wanted to be a comedian, I could say something smells funny about this parrot.
Who is this?
I said something. I think something smells funny about this parrot.
I smells
No. The parrot talks about the brachos of smells. Okay. Halacha Aleph. All right, rant.
I smell something. Somebody. Good.
Okay, good. So we'll learn over here if you let us smell it now. We'll find out. Perek Test Halacha Aleph. Kishem Shas L'Lo Adam L'Hanes Machal Mashke. Can your bracha just say the person is not allowed to have benefit? Page 701.
Yeah, it's very short.
Almost every day I wake up
Coffee?
Yeah. Instead of Shulchan you can make a
coffee?
Sure, on a coffee grind. On coffee.
Brewed coffee.
No, ground coffee. Brewed coffee is. So look, 1 second. We'll get in a second. So we'll talk about that. The chayyur coffee can say very much. I believe it says Shulchan Aruch for Havdalah. It's the favorite. You can use coffee grinds. Okay, the shame. No, it's for not for Havdalah. I mean for make Havdalah coffee is one thing, but the Barim some make on coffee. It says in Shulchan Aruch. Okay, 1 second. Shame Shas L'Adam Hanes Machal Mashke Bracha. Just as a person may not benefit from any food or drink in this world before making a bracha on it. Kach also the Hanes Bereach Teiv. Could the bracha person may not benefit from enjoying a good smell without making a bracha before. There's no bracha afterwards for the reasons before I explained because as soon as you smell it, you already digested it. Just like food, you already digested it, threw it to the bench.
It's not a reveal. It's not.
It's another beer. Right, another beer. There's no shear. No concept of a shear. Okay, good. What is the bracha you make on good smell? This thing that has a good smell coming from it, is a type of tree or a branch of a tree, or you mean some kind of tree. In other words, it's an actual tree or something which is tree-like because of the nature of how it grows, which means the roots retain every year and just the top regenerates. And that case, the blessed is he who creates fragrant trees, fragrant wood. It was a type of grass, or type of grass. What's the difference between? Huh? No. So that grass doesn't smell good, by the way. Now, if you like the smell, I guess you choose depends if you like the smell. So marijuana, I mean, you could, if it had a good smell, you could make.
Tarragon, for example, is a grass.
Any kind of a grass or with a min a grass species. In other words, it's a type of type of herb. Yeah, type of herb. Hashem creates fragrant grass. Yeah. If it was not from the actual tree, and nor was it from the ground, in which case it was from the ground directly, it would be kind of a grass. You have myrrh, for example, the myrrh. What is the myrrh? A minchai type of animal. The Rambam is going to tell us the myrrh was an ingredient in the Keteris. Right. It was from an animal in India. He describes the animal. I think it's considered the musk deer. The musk deer. Yeah, I consider that. So and the blood coagulates at the spine. That's to get the whole good. So if that doesn't grow. So then mavorech beinim min besamim who creates various types of species.
You had a share call on that.
1 second.
On the musk deer.
If you eat it, right? That's if it's true. If it's cut, it is kosher. Yeah.
No, that's the whole problem. That it's not edible.
No, why not?
Because it's mixed with blood.
No, the meat of the animal.
The meat of the animal.
Yeah.
Sure.
So mavarech beinim b'samim. In that case, you make a bracha beinim mini b'samim. Fine. I guess the chayyur if a mushroom has a good smell, the same thing. I'm thinking if it did, I don't know. I'm saying out loud. Whatever. If it was a fruit which is edible, if it was a fruit which is not edible. Let's say it's a poison fruit, it's too small. I don't know. Whatever. There's no shiloh of the brachas buried in mini b'samim. You don't make a bracha buried in mini b'samim is for b'samim because in that case it's not considered from the tree in a helpful way, I believe. But if it's a fruit which is edible, yeah, if it's a fruit which is edible, so then mavarach for example, an esrog, the an apple, any fruit, fragrant fruit, mavarach shenasan reich el peres, baruch atah Hashem kol chedom, not shenasan, shenasan. Okay, shenasan reich el peres. He gave a good smell to fruit. On everything, if you say it's like the shahakal of smell because it incorporates all smells. That's what the minig is very often to make that bracha because not everyone knows is it Isri b'samim, Atri b'samim is this type of a bush and a tree.
It's an older rule.
But Yom Kippur they pass around all these different things to make 100 brachas. You have this type which is Atri b'samim, Isri b'samim. You have to be careful. Some of those which are made with these markings, which one is this and that, is sometimes a bracha. It's a mushroom with rose petals, I believe. Are always Isri b'samim.
You can eat them.
Yeah, but not considered a food. But you make them, even if it's edible, you still make a bracha very issue b'samim. According to other opinions, since the rose, if it's a bulb that regenerates each year, at last you make a very issue b'samim. Good, so that's but you have to be careful. You have to just know, find what the psak is. So therefore, if you're taking this fruit for the purposes of smelling it, then you make a bracha ashenach the peiros. Now, we're talking about a case where you took it because you want to smell it. If you're taking the fruit to eat it, before you bite into the esrog, you're smelling it, you don't say the bracha. That's another story. Base. Ein mevarachin al megumar melashin. Goyim is a lashon of gechalim, coals in Aramaic. So megumar means like incense that you have. You put it on the coal, and so now you want to make a bracha on the incense. The bracha should be as close to the smelling as possible. You should make a hefsek. Therefore, don't make a bracha on this achetala tumas until the tumra melashin simras ashin, right? Dam eish of simras ashin until the smoke column rises. That's when you make the bracha. Before that, you might not be getting the actual smell. And this whatever you're putting doesn't really have a smell. It's not because the smoke has a smell. You have to wait till the smoke rises. What does the bracha make on this thing? So if this thing which is being burnt, giving a fragrant thing, if it's a kind of wood, a kind of pieces of wood from a tree, so then in that case, if it was a grass like an herb, make a bracha and then if it was from an animal, it's not it doesn't grow at all, and you make the bracha. By midbasam, but the bracha by midbasam, as Ram told us before. Point to this thing over here is that in this case you don't make a bracha. Even though the bracha is only because of the smoke, because the smoke is not the tree, it's a product of the tree. But that's considered the smell of the item. But Ram is telling us, don't think that since it's not the actual thing, it's just a derivative. As we'll see later on with one thing where it doesn't have any content. If you give like incense to the clothing smells good now, but there's no substance, no mamash of the thing, you make a bracha on minute or something. Here the smoke is considered the thing itself, and therefore in the bracha is taka atzi b'salm, isim b'salm, based on
What happens if someone passes by on Shabbos with a smell of perfume?
So Bechlali let the smell of that from a person. We'll see later. But also on a person, that could be a case. Could be. So 1 second.
Where do you smelling women? Where's going to walk by you?
If you go to the Bible, you have no choice.
You go to the Bible shul?
Or Amol, there's no choice. The Bible will smell it, and this will not, because sometimes if you sit next to the mechitza, you don't have a braid. Okay, Gimel. Shemesh parsimain, the oil of balsam oil. This is made either by you cut the tree and then you peel it, and the oil comes out. Or other point opinions say you have to soak it. By soaking it comes out.
The actual wood itself, if you burn it, will give off a fragrance.
You have to burn it. Here it says you soak it as if burning is another way. I didn't know that.
Soaking also brings out the smell.
Good. Yeah, there's no.
Is parchment?
Yeah, balsam oil.
Parchment is a parchment that
Yeah. Basically, it's the oil or it's the sap from this type of tree. Yeah. Okay, it's very things of that nature, right? So good smelling things that are derivatives, like the oil from the sap of tree. That the bracha is a special bracha. He who creates fragrant shemen. Why is it that the bracha? So some say on the one hand it's a chesaron because you can't make the bracha. It's not considered part of the a piece of the tree. But there's no mamashes there. It's from the eights. There's no mamashes of eights there. Therefore you can't make a bracha of bari asib b'samim. Therefore you say a bracha. Excuse me. But Tzadasheni, some other person would say that because be'etzem this is Samaritan soul usually, therefore because of its cheshivas, it deserves a unique bracha. You could look at it both ways. It's not the fact that it doesn't have wood in it, so it has to have a different bracha. But on the other hand, the bracha is a chashuv bracha, a bracha miyuchad, because it's Samaritan soul frequently. Okay. Aval shemen zayis shekavashi. You have olive oil. That you pickled the olive oil together. Thank you. Sorry, shemen zayis, olive oil, shekavashi that you soaked it, you pickled it. Not you pickled, you soaked it in this context.
Spices in it.
So you soaked the olive by itself. In other words, shemen. What it says, shemen zayis, the olive oil, shemen zayis, not just zayis, the olive oil that you soaked it. And in this olive oil, you also had spices, and this olive oil absorbed the flavor of those spices. Time olive oil doesn't have a flavor. Now the olive oil absorbs the flavor of whatever you put in there, all the
They use
spices.
it for smearing.
Or you ground the olive by grinding it. It causes like a smell to come up. So in this case, it's considered like some mavarach love berish atzib samim. The bracha is berish atzib samim. Not you don't make the bracha of berish shem and ariv. Here you do have the actual substance of the eights in it, because here you ground the olive, and the olive is from the tree. It's considered the close enough to its source that the bracha is berish atzib samim. Apparently, alternatively as well, when you soak it, and when you soak it in the spices are from the thing you soaked it with, from like with pieces of wood. And then it also it's like it has the actual substance of the eights in it. Yeah,
You can put anything in.
yeah, fine. So, but here that's why it's bari atzib samim. The truth is, you could also say that you soak the olive oil in fragrant things that are grasses. But the bracha is still atzib samim because the oil is from the tree. Therefore, it's even enough. Right, that's the cop-out version. That's the nigtaka
That's
today.
very
Yeah.
common. They put the
Nobody
pine,
makes
whatever, the different things in oil. And
Yeah.
What bracha do you make on the coffee?
1 second.
Let me know. Yeah.
It depends. If I say shechiyam sometimes because shem and mishpat. You take oil and you flavor it, not mama like shem and mishpat. The Rambam is going to tell us later on in Hilchos Brachos that's also to make the actual consistency ratio of the shem and mishpat that was used for anointing the kohen gadol and the kelim. But you made a similar process, meaning that you made it that way by dafka, I think he means that you cooked it. Ad kan, we're talking about soaking. Here you actually cook the oil with the fragrant thing. That's how it is. That's time through soaking. The bracha there is berim misam, because you have multiple different types in it, and you can't say exactly which is the one causing the smell. If you have different types, you know which bracha to make. You make the bracha very mini besamim, because you don't know if it's atzir this way.
But that's a little the time period. Even just take an herb and you shove it into olive oil, it's going to be many days until it absorbs the flavor of the herb. But if you cook it, it quickens the process for 20 minutes.
It's all time. Yeah, but that's not why the bracha is different. It's a different process.
Right, but I'm saying is, on the one that you cooked it already, in 20 minutes, you're going to have to make...
Yeah, fine, but if you do that, and you know for sure that the only type of thing that you put was from eitzim,
right.
then the bracha is by atzim. Why over here is the bracha burning something? Because usually when you cook oil and you have it absorb the thing you're cooking with, the flavor of the spice, they put different types. Some from grass, some from eitzim. So therefore, you make bar because if you have a mixture, you don't know what to say. We'll learn that the din is you have a basamim box, right? And inside, the taka have cloves together with the esrog peels and the whole thing. You say basamim.
The fusion.
That's what it's called? Yeah, fine. Mazel tov. Have you the fun of shemen the hadas? The person has oil and a hadas. So oil that the type of oil we went to earlier, the bracha is berde atzib besamim, right? And he has the actual hadas. So mavarach ala hadas a petus Hashem, and you have to make a berde atzib besamim in both of these things. A hadas is from a tree, berde atzib besamim, and the kind of oil we just learned the previous case in halacha before the previous one, where we say that you grind the olive oil, it's berde atzib besamim. So which one do you say the bracha on? The answer is you say the bracha on the hadas, because be'etzem a hadas is more close to the concept of the actual eights. Right. So it's more close to the bracha, whereas the oil is a subsidiary, so the bracha is like not as related.
Right.
It's actual leaf, it's actual branch. Yeah, 1,000%. Since it's the same bracha, it's an actual which is the bracha atzib samim, and therefore you make one bracha for both. You make it on the hadas, you put the shemen because it's faithful to the concept of the bracha. It's an actual eight. Dalit. How the fun of Baisim had a kind of spice who eights, which is from an eights. Who Baisim shu eights in the grass. Ein birchas achem and penis chaver. You can't make one bracha for both. This, which is the chveis, the leaves of what's the thing that toothpaste they always put? Mint. Mint leaves are very isra b'samim. Hadas are very atzib b'samim. You can't make one bracha for both. You can't say the mashal. Because whatever hadashim come from the ground, so I could say isra b'samim. No, each one has its own bracha. The havi the fun of yayin v'shem mevusim. Apparently, after the meal was always a minute where they would after the meal they would have a dessert of wine and then oil to like to enjoy the fragrance. It was like the after party. Oh, you hold the wine in your right hand, and the smell the oil in the left hand, because apparently the hana from eating and drinking is more ikir than the hana from smelling. First make a bracha on the wine, saying you drink it. Then you make a bracha on the oil, the fragrant oil, and you smell the fragrant oil.
The strangest thing.
This was a very common minhag back then, as like the.
The next thing.
Yeah, but talking about Rosh Hashanah, then you put some on the head of the waiter. Apparently, part of his job was to be there, to be the person. I guess the reason why you put it on the head, or because it says that the body actually makes the fragrance spread. You like perfume on a bottle, and that won't spread the perfume on the person's body. It spreads more. So that's the idea.
You're using out this guy to smell.
You're getting paid. What's the problem? Listen, if he wants to put in the contract like.
Sfardim have that meaning by Havdalah.
Yeah? Fine. I was in a
Syrian. They take a scenting oil and then.
Yes, I was in a Syrian show from Meyer Matzah Shabbos last week, and not this pack, but not the week before. They walk around with this golden thing. I didn't realize the guy came over to me. I didn't know he wanted
either rose water or
rose water. Yes, yeah.
What do you do with it?
They give it out there whenever it's for the summon. That's the use.
That's for the summon?
Yeah, that's the summon. It's rose water. I think it's rose water, whatever. It smells pretty good.
Orange blossom oil.
Oh, yeah. So if he's Talmid Chacham, it's not considered nice to go into the street with this from him. Even the shamish you put on his head, not on his hands. You put on his hands, you'd be chaysh. He's trying to. It says a person should not. It's considered a way of trying to be promiscuous. So if the shamish you put on his head, but Talmid Chacham, even on his head, it's not appropriate. Then you just put it on the wall.
On the hands it's promiscuous, and on the head it's not.
It's not considered as a calling card as much apparently. What if you have something natural? It's from considered a tree, or it's from the ground. Like for example, I mean, the Alter has it's an example of roses, which are obviously a grass, not a tree, but it's like a bulb, and every year it grows by itself. Maybe it is a tree. So then because of that, let's say, or whatever the case is, you're not sure if this is the type of. Oh yeah, so roses l'mashal, right? Oh, so roses that grow on a tree. We'll learn later on that they are. We'll learn later on that roses are very atzib or something.
Right.
According to Alter, that's only if it's from it grows out of a tree as opposed to growing from the ground.
It
goes from a tree. It goes from the ground. It's very atzib or something. I don't know. I'm not about it. So what if you have rose petals and you don't know where they came from? Are they the type that are very atzib something, or type very atzib something? So then mavarech halav very miyad something. It's like the shahakal of smell. It covers everything. We just talk at the minute because people. It's hard to know what the bracha is. Beisem sha'arevei b'arichel. You have besamim that was mixed by the spice mixture. I mean, you have multiple types. Again, you have isi besamim, atzi besamim. You have this oil, which is reich tev. You have the esrik peels, which is nothing that reich tev peiris. So mavarach lav berim besamim. Again, you make a bracha berim besamim, which covers everything. Hanichas achnish shal bas. A person goes into a spice store. Sheish bamin habes multiple types. She's smelling at once all types. Mavarach berim besamim. Again, the same use. You make a bracha berim besamim. Make a bracha sit all day. Ain't mavarach ala ach make a bracha. If he went inside and he left, and then he does not have an intention to come back right away, he says in the over here means. He go back right away. So then if he goes out again, every time you come back, you didn't have intention to. Every time you go out, if your intention was not to come back, your bracha is bottled. Your bracha is ended. Now you go back inside. You have to make a new bracha. If it's after a long time, I was taking a new bracha. Here, you went back right away. Since your kavanah was, I'm done. Oh, I forgot my wallet inside. Go back inside. So you have to make a new bracha. But if you left for a minute, you're coming back inside right away. I'm not sure how long right away is, whatever that is. And you tackle one bracha counts. And one.
Same thing with the palace.
Yeah. Hashashina by a sukkah 2-3 hours. I'm not sure if that would count. It's a little different. Yeah. Okay. Hashashana, and this is a new.
Anemone.
Where's my phone? I took a picture of this.
An anemone.
Yeah. Which is what?
A flower.
A flower, exactly.
A rose.
No, an anemone is not a flower. It's not a rose.
It's not a rose? This is it.
Anemone.
This is it. It's the fashtes. That's what this is. That's according to Google, that's what this is. To me, it looks like those plants under the ocean where they have all those fish. Yeah. That's what it is. Yeah, but that's not what it is. I think it's an anemone, which I thought was that is talking underwater plant.
I don't think so.
Yeah. An anemone is also a way of describing a certain type of. I'll tell you how I know that after the video shuts off.
Beret, Shoshana.
Okay.
No, that's a Shoshana. We're talking about the first word.
Shoshana is the first word.
Huh? Right. Sorry. So here doesn't mean that. The reason why it doesn't mean that because the Rambam uses the word veret for a rose. So veret. So here we have to touch it differently. That's why. Okay. The chalife hamayim and water lilies, right?
Lavender.
Lavender. Thank you. Lavender. Some say it's rosemary. The bracha is bari atzibusam because they grow similar to a tree in the sense that they have branches. The branches are considered like the petals are growing like on these branch-like formations. Halacha considers it to be a tree in this context. Narges lilies, shalgina of the garden, like lilies. Bari atzibusam, those are also bari atzibusam because they are since they last year you have to replant them each year. They last by themselves. The roots are self-sufficient.
I don't think that's too bad. But okay.
Maybe it's different type of lilies. Based I'm telling you what it says over here. What's the other translation? Based on Tagarin, son and Shashim, Peg, based on Proskal.
He's mentioning.
No, Chavatzel Sasharin is the lilies, narges. Yeah, thank you.
The lilies nowadays, but they were shown and touched up as rose.
Zolzain, fine.
Okay.
Vishasad, and also the ones that are. So the ones in the Gina and the ones in the Sad that are wild, I guess not wild, yeah. The bracha is bari yisubisam. The bracha is for for grasses. The blessings. He who creates fragrant grass. Havered rose. That's what Rosh Hashanah we couldn't say was a rose. Umeir red rose water. Balavina frankincense. We know that of course from the Keteris, from the Kabbanis. Vahamatz tachi rock roses. You know what that is?
Sure.
That's this rock rose. This is rock rose.
Lavender, isn't it lavender?
I don't think so. This is rock rose. Oh, you know what? I'm sorry. Maybe I googled that instead of rock. Okay, whatever. Akapanim. Yeah, I think you're right. I think I made a mistake. Sorry, that is lavender. Yes, this is lavender. So I didn't get the picture of the rock roses. You're right now, right? In case anybody wants to know.
I definitely want to know what a rock is.
You're gonna find it one day. You're gonna know. Oh,
I haven't heard of rock rose.
me neither. I've heard of rocks. I've heard of roses. I never heard of rock roses. Sounds like a name of a rock
Very
band.
common. Lavender is very common.
Yeah, lavender.
Here, this is rock rose. Pink flower. Yeah, that's fine. So good. So the bracha on that is when we get to them, atzibusam. That's considered by atzibusam because again it has the. It's like a tree. Now, rose water is considered like it has the actual substance of the rose in it. Therefore, the rose water, according to the Rambam, the bracha is not buried in the sun, but atzibusam. Contrast this to what we learn halacha ches. You'll see a little different.
That's very strange.
Yeah.
Rose water. I mean, they make a bracha. They make rose water.
It's rose petals that were steeped
Yeah.
a long time.
So
in the
it's
water.
considered like it has
They
the actual.
up the whole essence of the rose.
Okay.
That only the roses that grow on the trees is buri atzibusam. The roses that grow in the ground, roses in the ground, the buri is isubusam, which makes sense, right? Then he quotes
roses grow on the ground.
I don't know. What else the roses? No, we had when I was a kid in the garden. We had
That's a tree.
no, sorry, there was tulips. I don't know. Fine, we have to have what's his name? Ben Shimon Shikol botanist. So he could tell us. Good. Halacha Zayin. Shlosh mini reach tev heim v'achle. There's three types of smells you not like to bracha on them. And these are them. Reach tev she'as l'reach by a good smell, which not which is forbidden to smell. You smell. Doesn't make a difference. You not like a bracha on it. Reach is also food you can't make a bracha on, right? Reach tev she'as l'reach a good smell, which is not meant to smell. It's just meant to neutralize a bad smell. Reach tev she'linas l'reach atzur she'reach a good smell, which is not meant to really smell, as we'll learn in a case. As we'll learn. Yeah. Case of example. Some spices of Avodah, right? They have in the church. They have all types of smells for make it smell nice. Maybe it's part of the process. But for whatever reason, I'm not sure if the Akapani, if it's Avodah Zarah, or you could say even more simpler, if they worship the rose bush, right? It's Avodah Zarah. But even the they don't worship, even if it's used Avodah Zarah, I think.
If you worship the rose bush is not asa.
It belongs to the owner worships it. It is.
No, and if the owner has a hill, a mountain.
No, so it's
that.
different. So it's a little different, I think, because it's considered a sheira tree. So you can own the karka itself is a little different than a tree from the karka, I believe. We looked about that. I think. Akapanim, something that also that is on a person who's considered an erva, like a sibling or a shish. Now, if you should also you're not allowed to smell it. Now, what about a man to a man is an erva? So is a man not allowed to smell cologne on another man? I'm not sure. Some Michelle Mason.
I think you make bracha on a cologne anyway.
Fine, let's say it's another type of smell. A guy who smears esrog peels on his skin. The pasuk Michelle Mason even not an erva, if she's a nida, and bezman hazeh we pass even a pneunia is not a nida, still we acid smelling them because it's tinius. B'sam mishal mason, b'sam that they use to make the corpse smell not to smell so bad. B'sam mishal besakisa, the smell that's used not to the besakisa to smell so bad. Obviously, you can't smell like the bracha of the besakisa. But let's say you're outside the besakisa, it's just strong smell. You smell it outside. B'shemen also the haves a huma, an oil which is meant to take away sweat. We call it deodorant nowadays. They are simply made to remove a bad smell. They're not made to smell a nice smell themselves. Mugmor, which is the incense they use to perfumize, to put a good smell into clothing. They use it to put good smell into kalim, into garments. Why not? There was a third example of chazayim. This is not meant to smell. No one wants to smell this. You want the smell to go into the clothing. The clothing should smell nice. Now afterwards, the next guy comes along, wants to smell the garment. This garment smells nice. There's no essential of the actual smell there. And there's only a smell without the substance. Rose water, obviously we said it's different. Why? Because apparently the substance of the rose is in the rose water. Over here, if you have, for example, a guy works in a besamim store. He comes down, his clothing smells like besamim. You can't make a bracha on the clothing. There's no substance in the clothing. Test. Spices are in a group of goyim. So, why not? He said you can't make a smell of it. If there's a group of goyim, I'm a sibadaf, that's tamazay goyim. Goy has in his house, roses, you can make a bracha on it. If it's a gathering of goyim, the assumption is for avodah zarah purposes, therefore you don't make a bracha on a sibah shal goyim. If these guys walking outside a city, you smell a good smell. Now, if you smell a good smell, it's not from one person. It's from a mesiba. Yeah. The question is the mesiba Jewish mesiba, not Jewish mesiba. So Imreiv goyim is the majority goyim and make a bracha because you assume that it may be from goyim. Imreiv you saw if it's a majority cities Yidden, then you can make a bracha. You go after Basar Reiv. I the chayav is not even not bottle even mashu. The question is not how much of it is there in here. The question is if it is there or not. It's a 50-50. So if you go busted rate based on the population. What if two smells are mixed together? Right, the church and some guy's house next to the church have the exact same rosemary water smelling the whole street. You go after actually that's not a Zara. So another bad example. Right? Your wife and your sister are both there and they both have the same exact cologne. Can you make a bracha? Right, so the halach is who's wearing more cologne. Right? so therefore, whichever is the majority. Or the truth is, you go after the amount it is. I don't know exactly how to measure, but you have a way of measuring. Shalom Yisrael.